Checking on the wheat crop now with Bob Hunger, our extension wheat pathologist. And Bob, let's talk about how the wheat crop is shaping up overall across the state.
Well, overall across the state, the wheat crop looks quite good, especially in north central Oklahoma and central Oklahoma. The only problem with it is that it is 7 to 10, even 2 weeks, 7 to 10 days up to 2 weeks earlier than normal.
So the maturity is a little faster, and that kind of has to keep
Yes.
producers a little more on their toes, I guess, with the development and some potential disease problems.
Right, and currently there are no major disease problems, foliar disease problems in Oklahoma. We do have some powdery mildew around, and the leaf rust and stripe rust, both of those rusts are starting to come into the state a little bit more. And growers need to be aware of those and watching for that and thinking about putting on a fungicide to protect this wheat crop that has a very good yield potential right now.
Let's take a look. We have an example of the powdery mildew here. If you can show us and kind of describe what people should look for.
Well, in this trial here, we have powdery mildew, very little leaf rust or stripe rust showing up. The powdery mildew is the white, dusty, powdery spores produced on the leaves, and of course that will compete with the wheat plant for the nutrients that the wheat plant produces, and the nutrients that go to the fungus will not go to the grain and help fill that grain as it goes through heading and flowering and grain formation. And so this wheat right now is in the full boot stage, and this would be about the time to put the fungicide on now to help curtail this powdery mildew, but then also to prevent leaf rust or stripe rust from becoming established, especially if they have a susceptible variety.
What factors play into seeing the powdery mildew and then the rust? Is it the rain we've seen and the moisture?
Oh yes, even out here you may be able to have seen in that last little bit of a picture there of the dew formation on the leaves, and that occurs at night. Free moisture on the leaf, that will help the pathogens, the spores, to germinate and infect the leaves.
Okay, so the rain is a blessing, but also kind of a curse when it comes to the disease factors.
Definitely, yes.
Specifically, the treatments that you recommend for producers right now, go ahead and get those applications going as soon as possible.
Yes, if they have a susceptible variety to leaf rust and stripe rust and even powdery mildew at this point, if they have a variety that's susceptible to those diseases and have a very high yield potential, say 40 bushels an acre or more, this would be the time from now through maybe the next week to put the fungicide on. Of course, a lot of fungicides to use, and we have a complete listing of those in a publication, a current report, CR 7668, that will talk about that. Any of the fungicides will work quite well at preventing the disease, but the key is to get the fungicide on before the disease becomes established, because most of the fungicides are preventative rather than curative.
Okay. Bob Hunger, thanks so much for the update. And for a link to that current report on fungicides, you can go to our website, sunup.okstate.edu.